Have you drafted legal documents for your estate, either by will or by trust? If the answer is yes, then you would think that when you pass away, all of your assets would pass according to your will or trust, right? Well, actually, wrong. When it comes to bank accounts and after-tax brokerage accounts, the beneficiaries you have designated on those accounts will receive your money, regardless of what your will or trust says. For those of you who don't know me yet, I'm Julia, Certified Financial Planner and Managing Director of URS Advisory. Every day, I help people retire when they want and how they want. And I've seen legacy planning go terribly wrong. And that's why I'm making this video, to ensure that it doesn't happen to any of you. Before I get started though, please be sure to like and subscribe to our channel so that we can get this information out to as many people as possible. A girlfriend of mine, let's call her Jennifer, lost her grandmother last year. Before her grandmother died, she told her that she would be the only grandchild to inherit $20,000. When all was said and done, though, she only ended up inheriting $10,000. How did this happen? Even though her will stated that Jennifer would receive $20,000, her beneficiary forms on her accounts only had her inheriting $10,000. Once all of the assets were distributed, there wasn't another $10,000 in the estate to give to her. Clearly, this was not her grandmother's intention, but this is what happens when your account titling clashes with your will or your trust. One of the best things you can do for your family is to make sure that all of your accounts are titled properly, meaning that there are beneficiaries that are current and correct. It's best to consult an estate planning attorney to see which processes work best for your family. But simply put, a beneficiary designation will avoid probate, so the account will go straight to your heirs within 5 to 7 days upon providing a death certificate. So please, pause this video or set yourself a reminder to review all of your account titling. If you're married, are your bank accounts and brokerage accounts jointly owned, or are they titled in the name of your trust? Are you each other's primary beneficiary? Do you have contingent beneficiaries on all of your accounts? On your bank accounts, do they have a TOD or transfer on death or a pay on death beneficiary? These are all crucially important to have if you want your legacy to pass quickly and easily. If you do not have beneficiaries designated, your accounts will go to your estate, which will go through probate, a sometimes long and expensive process. Also, for those of you with a revocable living trust, have you actually funded it? Are your bank and brokerage accounts and home titled in the name of your trust? Is your trust the beneficiary of your insurance policies? Because if you've just created a trust but there's nothing in it, then you've only done half the job. An unfunded trust does not avoid probate, which is one of the main reasons for drafting one. We've had several clients call in nervous about the tax implications of inheriting money. And our question is always, well, what type of account are you inheriting? This is because your tax implications differ dramatically based on whether you're inheriting a bank account, a brokerage account, real estate, an annuity, or a retirement account. I've already made a video on what happens when you inherit a retirement account, and I'll put a link to that video below. But today, I'm going to review what happens when you inherit a bank account and a brokerage account, as the tax implications are actually quite similar, and I'll use a story to illustrate. Let's say that Dad had a bank account earning 2% per year with his daughter Jane as the primary beneficiary, and he died today. The interest Dad earns until Jane inherits the funds will be taxed to him and his estate as ordinary income. She will receive the account income tax-free. However, any interest earned after she inherits the money will be taxable to her based on how she invests the funds. Therefore, you won't owe income tax when you inherit a bank account, whether it's a checking, savings, or certificate of deposit account. But if you leave it in there or invest it elsewhere and you earn interest, that interest after the inheritance will be taxed. What about inheriting a brokerage account that's invested in stocks and bonds? Stocks, bonds, and other investments within a non-qualified or after-tax brokerage account qualify for what's called a step-up in basis at death. This step-up in basis refers to the adjustment in the cost basis on an inherited asset to its fair market value on the date of the decedent's death. And the actual cost basis is what determines the taxes owed, if any, when the asset is sold. So let me illustrate that financial jargon in plain English using another story. Let's say that Jane's dad purchased 1,000 shares of Apple stock in 1990. His cost basis split adjusted is 37 cents per share for tax purposes. He dies in 2024, leaving the stock to Jane. The fair market value of his stock on the date of death is $170 per share. This means that Jane avoids paying capital gains tax on the nearly $170 in price appreciation of all 1,000 shares and effectively inherits the lump sum of $170,000 income tax-free. This is an incredible estate planning technique for passing down tax-free wealth, and it's not available with retirement accounts. Be sure to check out my video on that next. Jane will have to pay tax on whatever interest or gain she makes on the funds once they are in her possession, however, just like any other investment account of hers. So in summary, and according to current tax law, we can all enjoy a step up in basis with inheriting a bank or an after-tax brokerage account. When you're planning your legacy, please be sure to keep this in mind as you decide who gets to inherit each type of account. And please reach out to an estate planning attorney to make sure that your documents are good for the state that you live in, easy to use for your heirs. I know that there's a ton of free online resources for legal documents, but that doesn't mean that they're comprehensive enough for what we need in today's day and age. So just consider using an attorney for that. Thank you all so much for watching. If you found the video helpful, or if you've experienced anything with inheriting a bank account or a brokerage account, leave your comments below. We can all learn from each other, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.